So it's not exactly easy to get a work permit in Thailand. First, you have to already have a job in order to start the application process, which I guess is fine. It seems a little bit backwards to me, but fair enough. And yeah, so first you get your non-immigrant B visa, which you have to do by leaving the country and submitting a bunch of paperwork, and then you get a 3-month non-immigrant B visa. And then sometime within those 3 months, your employer submits a work permit application on your behalf, and then you submit your passport and a few supporting documents to get your work permit. And I sent this in a few weeks ago, or about a week ago, and I was told, okay, we need a few more things from you before we can process your application. And one of those is a certificate from a doctor saying that you are okay to work, and one of those is my transcripts. In order to teach in Thailand, you have to be a university graduate, hold a bachelor's degree in any field, and also have a certificate in teaching English as a foreign language, or the equivalent of a TOEFL certificate. And then the third thing they asked for, that I'm sort of scratching my head about, is proof that you do not have syphilis. Have you ever heard of such a thing? It just seems a little bit odd, and like sort of a personal thing to be asking for somebody who's applying for a teaching position, especially for kindergarten. I can sort of see the logic in it, in that if I did have syphilis, then they might say, oh, you can't teach on the grounds that you are a sexual deviant. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, it just seems a little odd. It's a new requirement for getting a work permit here. So, on Friday, yesterday afternoon, after school, I went to the hospital to have my blood drawn. And going to the hospital in Thailand, it was a very interesting experience. I'm glad I actually got to have that experience, and that it wasn't for needing to go to the hospital. The doctor who signed my medical form, which consisted entirely of having my blood pressure taken and then having the form filled out and then having it signed to say I'm okay to work. I guess that's what it says. I don't know. It's all in Thai. And the doctor that I went to have that done said, oh yeah, this is what you need to do. I asked him about this venereal disease test. I said, so they said I need to have a certificate that I don't have syphilis. And he said, oh yeah, you go to the hospital and it's a blood test and you ask them for VDRL. So, yesterday afternoon, after school, I went to the hospital, and it was very quick and painless. I was in and out of there in probably half an hour or less. There were all these signs, and of course I couldn't read them, so I picked the first building, and walked in and talked to the information desk and told them what I needed, this blood test, VDRL, and they sent me to another building, and so then it was the main building, I guess, and I went to the registrar and told them what I needed, and then a friendly English-speaking nurse helped me fill out the paperwork, pointing, okay, name here, age, birthday, etc. Address. And so she helped me fill that out. And then I sat down for maybe a minute or two, and then my name was called to go into another office, and then they took my blood pressure and weight, and then filled out a little card for me to give to the blood lab, saying exactly what I needed. And so then I was escorted up to where they drew the blood, and then given a little ticket that says I can come back on Monday, anytime after 10 o'clock in the morning, and pick up my results. So, yeah, then after that I was escorted to the cashier and paid my 100 baht for the visit, my $3, and on Monday I get to go back and pick it up. So, yeah, it was an interesting experience and totally painless, but still just syphilis? Really?